As people have come to understand through this conversation, you're quite busy. You wear a lot of different hats. You're leading on high levels in your career, your ministry, but on top of all of that, which is most important, you're a mother, a wife, and so you have all these things that are going on. You're balancing a career, pastoring, but you also prioritize your family. How have you been able to do that? How are you able to accomplish so much in the same amount of time that everybody has?
Um, I think it was kind of a mix of how I was raised and who I am as a person. I chose to go join the workforce. This wasn't like the church couldn't pay me, and so they kicked me out and told me go get a job. Um, I I wanted to be involved in the world. I wanted to know lost people. I wanted to know people that needed Jesus. I wanted to be out there and connecting with I wanted to be able to relate because we have a very young professional church, and I wanted to be able to be relevant in a space of what their lives are like. If
Mm.
I'm asking them to come give a night of the week, am I willing to give a night of the week? And so I absolutely love working a secular career. I feel like it gives me the opportunity to meet people and walk through doors that would never be open to me otherwise. And it puts me in the rooms, and I feel like God will give me the strength to do that. And so as far as how we prioritize it and how we live day to day, we live by a very rigid schedule. Generally, we know what we're doing. Like, I know every single day next week, I know exactly what we're doing morning, evening, and night. Um, we generally schedule out because our lives require it. And but we also factor into it um, my family first. And so, if there is a week, we take certain nights that we don't do anything. It is family time. We aren't going to go meet with anybody. We're not going to have a small group. We're going to be home, or we're going to go do something with the family. Like tonight, for instance, was we cooked at home. The kids swam because it's swimming time already here. And my little boy played in the backyard with his bulldozer, and we just sat out there and watched him, and just a very normal evening at home. And I think people look at what we do and for so long have thought that it's not possible. But I think the way we do it is whatever happens, our family comes first. And so
Mm.
we prioritize that. And York is two. And so he comes up to the church with us most days, or we've got a little Mother's Day out program that he goes sometimes. But the mindset is Tyler and I get dressed in the morning. We get our two girls off to school, and then we bring York with us or take him to the Mother's Day out a couple days. And we work from the church. So I sit in my office at the church and work for Microsoft and take all my calls there. And we go do lunch together. I block off time in my day for a staff meeting every week that we have with our staff every Tuesday morning. And then in the evenings, we come home, we get all the kids from school. Either we go eat, we cook, and then we do, like last night, we went over to a friend's house in the church where we talked vision. We came up with some new culture points that we want to implement at the church while all of our kids are going absolutely insane together, being together, playing together. And there was 6 adults and there were 8 kids. And so we're outnumbered at all times at our church with kids. You're limited to who you can invite by how many kids we all
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's like culminating like, okay, how many kids does this mean? So what we do is we try to prioritize it in a way that says God's first in our lives, but then family is second, and then the church, and then my job. And what I've found is it's actually pretty doable.
Mm.
Church people in general are working during the day as well. And so it's not like they're coming to hang out with you up at the church or need you during the church hour, 9 to 5 hours, because they're all working. And so our evenings are spent a lot of times with church people, but mostly in the sense of small groups. We get together, we go eat together, we do life together, and then we do carve out times that it's just our family, and we don't violate that, because they need to know that they're our priority. And I do get asked this question a lot. This is a question that every time I do Instagram questions, this question does come up.
Mm.
And I think the idea of having a balanced life is a joke. I don't think
Mm.
you ever have it balanced. I think you focus on what you need to focus on at the time you need to focus on it, and then you move to the next thing you need to focus on. So, like during my work days, my kids are at school. I'm sitting in front of a computer working, and that's what's most important for that moment. I get done with my work calls. I go eat lunch with all the office crew, or we have a lot of remote workers that just come hang out up at the church, and we'll all go eat lunch together. And so I'm with church people, and I'm at the church every day. I just work remote. And so it works,
Mm.
in the day that we live in. If you can work remote and go hang out at your church all day, then do it, and so I will say that I'm 5 years into, I worked for IBM before Microsoft. I'm 5 years into a secular career, full time, and a pretty intense one. And
Mm-hmm.
it's worked. I've always been afraid that it just wouldn't. It would be too much, but it's been a blessing to our family. It's been a blessing to our church, not having to take on my salary. And again, in the spirit of, if I've got this gift and I've got this talent that I can give back to God, I view it as a way of serving, if that
Mm.
makes sense. And so we just make it work with a very rigid schedule, and a very hard, no, this is my family time. And and we do it, and we pastor a phenomenal church of people that live very similar lives to us. We live in Houston. Most everybody, husband and wife, work here,
Mm-hmm.
because of the life. It's a big city. It's expensive. You need two incomes, property tax. It just, people do. And so it's not as abnormal here as it may be other places. But what is abnormal is the pastoring element, because you do know that doesn't turn
Yeah.
off at 5 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
It generally ramps up at 5 o'clock. And so we are very, very cognizant of our time with our family, but we do try very hard to be able to be a salt and light in the world. And it's been a blessing for us. And if I can do that and still be the pastor's wife I need to be, then why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how we do it. Tyler and I are very rigid with our schedules and our time, and know that we'll drop anything to go be with our children if they need us. So
Mm.
that's bar number one. And so
Yeah.
it's been we do it together, we work on it together, and we've seen it work for 5 years now. So, I mean, it's doable.